What's up and welcome guys, I'm Luke Martin with ChopstickTravel.com and today is our third episode from Jakarta. It is unfortunately our last day here. The food so far has been absolutely incredible and we are already planning our next trip back to Indonesia. So today we are taking you all around the city to a couple different restaurants that I really want to try before we leave Jakarta. So this morning we are actually going to another Padang style restaurant. We had one in our first episode and now we're having another one today and I'm super pumped to try this place. It looks really good. So we're gonna go inside and order up some food. For breakfast today we have come to, as I mentioned, have some more Padang food. So Padang is from West Sumatra and their style of food is world famous. So we've come to an interesting restaurant. It's called Bopet Mini, which means mini buffet. And this style is very unique because it's a buffet Padang restaurant. It's not usually normal to do it buffet style. And also what's interesting is at this place you actually take a picture of your plate and then that's how they know how much you owe to pay at the end of the meal. So we've got our plates here and kind of held back a little bit just because we're going to be doing a lot of eating today, but this is just beautiful. So the way that they do it is first they scoop a massive thing of nasi rice on top here and then you pick your own dishes. So I went first with a curried chicken drumstick, which just looks amazing. This like red orange kind of colored curry. I'm not exactly sure. It's probably coconut milk based. Over here the world famous beef rendang, and I was just in need of having some good rendang here in Indonesia. The last place we tried it just wasn't up to my standards. And then here we've got the fried cassava leaves and then some cucumbers, raw cucumbers. Let's start with this chicken drumstick. And it's not the meatiest drumstick, but that curry just looks irresistible. So a piece of meat here, get some rice. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that is very spicy, very, very spicy. As soon as that hit my mouth, I could just taste all that lemongrass. It's definitely coconut milk based, very, very thick, full of spices, and extremely spicy. Holy moly, that's spicy. Next up, the voted several times over best food in the entire world, the beef rendang. So this is just coated with coconut, some lemongrass, all kinds of different spices. And let's break off a piece. That is braised for 6 hours sometimes. So I got a nice piece here. Try it out just with no rice. Oh. It's a little bit sweet almost. The flavor of that is just so complex. There's so much going on in your mouth at one time there, but really you could definitely taste the coconut. It's a little bit sweet almost, creamy, and a little bit of lemongrass flavor as well. Okay, let's get some of these cassava leaves with some rice. I'm actually just gonna take a little bit of curry from that chicken drumstick, just drizzle that on. Just a little bit of spiciness, and let's try that. Those are very soft and also very, very juicy because they're also kind of braised in a little bit of a yellow looking curry. Those are very good actually. They're just kind of natural flavor but soaked with juice. Almost finished off with our Padang breakfast, and honestly once you get this dish halfway done, you start mixing all the ingredients together and you get beautiful spoonfuls like this. There is raisins in here with that rendang, there's peanuts, all kinds of hidden ingredients I didn't even notice at first, and this is just seriously mouth-watering food. I couldn't picture a better way to have breakfast here in Jakarta. All right, that was an amazing way to start our day of eating around Jakarta. I definitely recommend this place out. It's called Bopet Mini. It's kind of in South Jakarta. I will leave information in the description box down below so you can find this place. We're just gonna check out a market that is really close to here before we continue on and keep eating today.
Hello.
So this is actually a pretty small market. There's not too much to see. There's kind of an indoor section and an outdoor section. We're just passing by before we go to lunch. The call to prayer is going off, you can probably hear. And yeah, pretty cool place. We're just gonna explore a little bit more before we head to our next location.
Tahu kene cek bahasa urang nah. Dulu di foto, wes ganteng aktris.
We just took a Gojek from our last location. The traffic here in Jakarta is ridiculous at all times of day. That took about an hour to get across the town, but we are at our next place. This is called Konro Karebosi, and we're going to be having some barbecued beef ribs, and I am super pumped to try these. Our beef ribs have arrived. This place is absolutely incredible. So out front they've got a huge barbecue that is just grilling away. Honestly, the biggest ribs I have ever seen. There is huge racks of ribs out there, and we've ordered up a few different styles of the beef ribs. So let me just introduce all these different dishes to you. So right here we've got the Konro bakar, which is the barbecued version and then topped with a peanut sauté sauce. And just check out the size of that rib. That is ridiculous. And you can see it is charred pretty much all the way through. This one over here is called the Sop Konro, which is in this kind of clear broth and then topped with a bunch of shallots. Again, these huge beef ribs, not as big as the bakar version. And then over here we've just got a soup, soto, which I think is just a beef broth with, again, some fried shallots, maybe some onions, and then a plate of rice, of course. And man, this smells incredible. I was just hanging out near the grill. All the guys here are super friendly, and they are seriously pumping out a ton of these beef ribs. Let's dig in. I'm gonna start with the Konro bakar, the barbecued version. There is a huge layer of sauté sauce on there, and I'm just gonna easily pry away a piece of meat. Oh man. Okay, that's a pretty small bite, but that's okay. I'm gonna put that on my rice over here and eat that with a little bit of rice. Oh, that smells incredible. Let's try that. Oh man. That is ridiculously tender. That sauce is very thick, peanutty. It is a sauté sauce, and the beef is pretty much natural flavored, besides the fact that it is ridiculously smoky from that hot grill. Man, that is ridiculously tender. Let's actually just go in for one more bite. I'm gonna peel it right off this bone. Oh man, check that out. There is a huge chunk of meat on there. All right, let me try to break a little piece off that. Oh yeah. Oh, this is a meat lover's paradise here in Jakarta. Okay, try that. A little bit of rice. Oh man, it's kind of like an Indonesian satay, but minus the stick. Instead, the stick is just the rib bone, and the meat is just falling off that bone. Man, that is phenomenal. Let's try the soup version next. So now for the version of the beef ribs that are in a broth. These are still grilled in the same way, just not topped with that sauté sauce. And this time they're instead in this clear broth, as you can see, and have been marinated in the same mixture of, I'm not exactly sure what, but some delicious spices. So let me just try to peel a piece away here. There we go. And oh yeah, that's a big chunk. Let's try that out. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's try it, and I'll chase it with a little bit of broth. Oh, that's salty and smoky, lemongrass, almost a little bit sour. Oh man, there's a lot of flavors going on in there. And I especially love those crispy shallots on top. Oh, those are super juicy. I wouldn't say it's as tender as the other bite I just had, but super, super juicy from that broth, completely saturated into that beef meat. Next, I'm just gonna sample the beef broth soup with some shallots in there. Try that. Oh man, wow. That's such a rich, rich flavor. That might be the most beefy flavored thing I've ever tasted in my life. There's almost like little silty pieces of beef in there. That is also phenomenal. Everything here is incredible, but I have to give it up for the bakar version, the version with the sauté. Just look at this meat right here. Effortlessly pulled apart. Oh man. Let's go in for one more bite with a little bit of rice. Oh, this is just too good, guys. This is mouth-watering, extremely tender beef here in Jakarta. Try that. Polished off those beef ribs. Check it out. All that's left is a little bit of connective tissue, and man, that is a serious rib. Just check out the size of that thing. That is absolutely massive, and they were delicious as well. This place is awesome. It's so cool. You can check out the grill, them grilling all these ribs, serving tons of hungry customers, and yeah, just enjoy some amazing Indonesian style beef ribs. So we are pretty full after that. I think we're gonna head back to our Airbnb, relax for a little bit before we head out tonight for a little bit more snacking. It is dinner time now. Sabrina and I just took a little rest at the Airbnb and we are heading out to get some supper. We are going to have something called nasi uduk, which is a famous dish here in Jakarta. So we're just coming up on the spot right now. So I guess the way that this place works is it's sort of self-service, kind of like the Padang restaurant that we were at this morning. They've got a few things laid out and we're gonna pick some stuff out and then I'll introduce everything to you. We are in a proper Jakarta street foods tent almost, right on the side of the street. This is just kind of an extension of the sidewalk. This place only opens up at night. It's called Nasi Uduk Kota Intan. And nasi uduk is a Jakarta famous food, and it's basically composed of several things, but the main ingredient is the rice. The rice is cooked with coconut milk, well, steamed with coconut milk, and then topped with a ton of those crispy shallots. So then you have an option to choose several different things. We picked out a few interesting looking things. So over here we've got a couple pieces of tofu and a piece of beef here, and then a piece of chicken as well. All right, here's the chicken. And then once you choose it in a little basket, he fries it all up in a little bit of oil, so it's sort of deep fried. And then also we ordered some vegetables. This is just a mixture of some chilies, tomatoes, and bean sprouts. Just gonna give my hand a little wash here. They usually provide you with a small bowl of water to wash your hands. And let's go maybe for a piece of tofu first. And it's not very crispy on the outside, it's still nice and fluffy. And I'm actually just gonna dip it over here into, this looks like a sambal chili sauce and put that on my rice. Break it apart a little bit. Oh, that is hot. And let's eat that with a little bit of nasi. Oh man, that is steaming hot. Let's try that. Oh man. You can instantly taste the coconut milk. That is a really rich flavored rice. The tofu is a little bit salty and it's very creamy the whole way through. It's actually not as firm as I expected. That's pretty good. Let's try another piece here. I guess this is the beef. I'll just break off a small chunk of beef. Again, with some rice, maybe a little bit of tofu. Yeah, let's try that. That's good beef. It's a really simple meal, but it's really hearty and satisfying. It really just comes down to that rice being perfectly cooked. Let's try some of these vegetables as well. Get a pork here. Try some vegetables. The tomato. A little bit of vinegar in there gives it a nice little sourness. Oh, I can see why this is popular here in Jakarta. Really satisfying and super authentic, right on the side of the street. This is good. Okay, finished with our nasi uduk. That was 97,500 for 2 plates of rice and all the things that you guys saw. Not sure if we were overcharged. I feel like that might have been a little bit of an overcharge. Indonesian people, let me know down in the comments. That's okay though, because the taste was really phenomenal. So we're actually gonna head for some dessert now. We're gonna go get some martabak. We have come to have a extremely famous Indonesian dessert, the martabak. So there are actually 2 different kinds of martabak. You can order the sweet kind as we did, or you can order the savory kind. They cook them differently, they are quite different. The savory kind is thinner and they kind of shallow fry it, whereas the sweet kind is super fat and they just fry it in a regular frying pan. So that the way that they do it is they use a very thick batter and they line this kind of bowl-shaped frying pan, the whole thing, fry it up, and then once it's crispy on the bottom but still kind of like undercooked on the inside, they take it off the fryer and then they fill it with, honestly, the worst ingredients ever, but it looks delicious. So they fill it full of, first I saw him just put the most butter I've ever seen on anything in my life. So coated in butter, and then on top of that, cheese. I'm not exactly sure what kind of cheese it is. It's probably a processed cheese. After that, they top it with a bunch of chocolate sprinkles and then some crushed peanuts. And then after that, they just completely drench it in condensed milk, fold it closed, and then of course they put more butter on top of it. So basically this is like the definition of giving up if you are going to eat this, but it smells and looks incredible. We ordered the kind that's called the complete, which is the traditional kind, as I just explained, but they have so many other kinds. You can get like durian, Nutella, Toblerone, all kinds of different things. Their menu is massive, but as I mentioned, we went with the most traditional, and here is our piece here. It is absolutely dripping with butter. Just look at that, look at that. Oh man. Okay, I'm just gonna go right into it. I guess I'm just gonna try to break off some of that. And you know, a lot of people might think this is weird because there's cheese and chocolate, which I also agree is a little bit odd, but let's try it anyway. Wow. Wow. You don't want to eat too much of that. It is good though. If you are a sweet tooth, you will be in heaven with this. This is absolutely coated in butter. It's basically completely salty and sweet at the same time. Salty from that cheese and butter, and then sweet from that condensed milk and chocolate. Let's finish this off. That's heavy. Okay, I think we are finished with eating that. We couldn't even come close to eating the whole thing. We ordered a half size. So as you can see here, this is the half size. This box was packed full. It must have been 3 or 4 pounds. It is seriously heavy just from all that butter. I think you want at least a family of 5 or 6 to try to finish one of these off in total. But man, that is seriously sweet and a good way to end our full food day here in Jakarta. That is it for today's video, our third and final, unfortunately, video here in Jakarta. We had an incredible time. This city is honestly a food paradise, especially the street food here has been incredible. I would love to hear your comments below what you thought of our Indonesian series, and we are just dying to come back. Honestly, we will be back here soon enough. So also, I guess I haven't really kept you up to date on what our plans are, but right now we are, tomorrow we're heading to Kuala Lumpur. So hopefully we'll make a video or two in Kuala Lumpur, and then we're heading back to Taiwan, hang out in Taiwan for a little bit, and then we're pretty much wide open. I would love to hear, what do you guys want to see? Where do you want us to go? We were thinking Malaysian Borneo and also Japan. Japan is just an amazing country. We can't wait to get back for a third time. Yeah, just let us know. We are open to suggestions, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know what you thought of the Indonesian series below down in the comment box, and subscribe for more videos like this. We got a ton more coming. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.